over-the-top costumes, cheeky bantering, folksy music. Singapore's very own grassroots culture is facing an existential crisis. Getai, which literally means song stage in Chinese, is a popular form of mass entertainment in Singapore that dates as far back as the Japanese occupation in the 1940s. In the last decade, Getai have been celebrated as an iconic representation of Singaporean culture. Thanks to a 2007 local film that depicts the life of Getai singers. After the movie 881, Getai took on a new life. But a decade on, underneath the still boisterous performances, Singapore's Getai have an aging problem. Thomas Au is 58 years old. He has been performing at Getai since the early 1970s. His bands are among a handful of live bands that still perform for Getai in Singapore.
那个是很久的事情了，不过最近就是因为有些比较有年纪了，退休了，那有些都过世了，所以我最近有更换一两个成员啦。那之前的他们都已经老了，没有办法打了。我的鼓手都已经70岁了，那我的那个 guitarist 也是要50-60岁了。我本身是50多岁，只是我一个那个打 bass 的小我1-2岁。
Live bands are a crucial feature given Getai's unique performance style. For each performance, the band has to play for all Getai singers hired to sing over the course of a few hours. The singers do not inform the band of their song lists ahead of time. There are no rehearsals, and even with a song list, performers are often required to sing spontaneously based on audiences' song requests on the spot. These requirements make it difficult for Getai bands to attract new talent.
我们都是有一些专人在写这个谱，把这个谱 arrangement 弄出来了，那么就一人1张4张乐队，那么就看着那个谱就是这样打，所以真的是不会看的话，真的是很吃亏了，没有办法打这些歌，所以我们就好像说我们一些演唱会啦，一些可能要伴奏，他们都是一定要会看谱。
Another perhaps even bigger reason is that young musicians are simply not interested in performing for Getai.
我看没有真正的去招收这些成员呐，我相信，假设有好好的去招收的话，好好去找他们来训练的话，应该是可以训练得到。不过就是你知道这些年轻人，他们都不喜欢呢，他们说这种Getai，他们不喜。 有些啦，有些喜欢，不过有些他们说我玩音乐，我来玩Getai，很 low class， 他们会这样想，这些年轻人。
It doesn't help that Getai are on the decline.
有几个中元界，他们都在台上宣布，他说今年是最后一年，明年就不做了。我都遇到了所以Getai会越来越少。
Getai arose from the amusement parks of the 1940s. Back then, it was performed on stage in the big entertainment centers, such as at the Great Wall. In the following decades, as the war ended, the British left and a new nation was born. Getai stayed and continued to flourish, but in a new form, distributed in places like food courts and temples, and from parking lots to factories. Underneath the swanky skyscrapers, Getai, as a form of grassroots culture that's unique to Singapore's Chinese majority society, continued to flourish over the decades as Singapore transformed itself from a colonial backwater to a thriving metropolis.
Hi, Paul. Hi. Nice to meet you.
I want to find out the reasons behind the cultural resilience of Getais. Professor Kenneth Dean is an expert on Chinese literature and culture. In recent years, his research on temple networks in Singapore and the region has led him to take a great interest in the Getai phenomenon.
You will not find anything like this in Taiwan, or you can see a little bit in Malaysia now, increasingly, but Singapore really was the place where it all took shape and where it has really flourished to the greatest degree. And it was a combination of different kinds of musical performance. So can from France, sing-song from Shanghai, Broadway and Hollywood musicals, all combined into a kind of entertainment form known as Getai. That was mostly on stage in the big entertainment centers. Gradually, because it was so popular, it got absorbed down into the temples, by the temples, into their 7th-month Ghost Festival celebrations. And then it spread and continued to spread until it became so representative of Singaporean culture that it became iconic. So we have films like Baba Yao 881 by Royston Tan that really explore this culture and give it a whole new twist and a whole new meaning, and actually brought a whole new generation of people back to Getai. A lot of younger performers got excited by it and wanted to go on stage and learn how to perform it. It has now become a part of everyday life of Singapore.
Although Getais were once considered the coolest form of entertainment in Singapore, in recent decades, Getais are enjoyed mostly by Singapore's dialect-speaking elderly. In 1979, the Singapore government began to restrict the broadcasting of Chinese dialects in the mass media.
And our program scheduling has to cater for all our communities.
And Getais became the only venue where the elderly can find some form of entertainment that's performed in their native languages.
There's a whole group of Hokkien songs, Yunnan songs, that go back to the 20s and 30s and have a really strong emotional impact. They're beautiful melodies, but they're also very, very powerful lyrics. So a lot of people love to listen to those songs. They're very familiar. They can sing along with them.
According to a government survey in 2016, English is the most widely spoken language at home in Singapore, followed by Mandarin, Malay and Tamil. Only 12% of Singaporeans speak a Chinese dialect at home. But in recent years, there have been greater efforts among the young to revive Chinese dialects. And I'm going to meet a young man who has taken it upon himself to preserve Singapore's Getais and dialect heritage. On the Chinese calendar, the 7th month in general is regarded as the Ghost Month, during which it's believed that ghosts and spirits, including those of deceased ancestors, come out from the lower realms. It's a time for the living to make offerings of food, money and entertainment to the roaming spirits. In Singapore, Getais or song stages are being set up during this month to entertain not just the living. Getais weren't always associated with the hungry ghost month. Back in the old days, events during the 7th month of the Chinese calendar used to feature Chinese opera performances. But in the 1980s, television entered Singapore households. So instead of watching Chinese opera performances, people stayed home to watch television. So Getais with the live band performances were then introduced to bring back the crowds. Since then, Getais have become a main feature at events marking the 7th month. But today's Getais have evolved further. Performers work all year round, taking jobs from corporate events to community activities and private birthday parties. Many Getai singers have attracted a decent following, and they have developed a unique relationship with their fans. It's typical that when the audience finds a singer sings well, they will give the performers red packets. Some would buy herbal tea and drinks, fruits and rice for their favorite Getai singers.
因为他们唱歌好听，表演很好，服装也美，什么都好了。
喜欢看他们的歌星什么主持人
For those with the right attitude and determination, performing at Getai could be a promising career. I'm going to meet Singapore's youngest male Getai singer. Alvin Tan is 18, he's still a student, but Alvin has just started his Getai singing career this year.
Basically, I will always prepare around 6+, and I will get myself ready to choose the clothing which I like to wear on the performance day itself, and also give myself a rough idea of which songs I would like to sing on the day's performance.
Now, during the Hungry Ghost month, do you pray before each show?
That one is done at the stage itself. Yeah, when I reach the Getai, I will go to the backstage, because this is passed on by the older generation. Like they did mention that since it's the 7th month, so we will pray for like success and hope that the whole event runs smoothly like that.
Wang Lei, a legendary Getai singer, helped to launch Alvin's Getai singing career. When he learned that Wang Lei has been giving singing lessons for free, Alvin contacted the veteran singer on Facebook and submitted a demo to Wang Lei. Upon listening to Alvin's demo, Wang Lei immediately took a liking to Alvin and decided to take him in. Despite his small build, Alvin's unique voice and vocal style convinced Wang Lei that he could do well in Getai singing. But it was Alvin's 74-year-old grandmother who introduced Getai singing to him and instilled in him a love for Chinese dialect songs. Alvin grew up with his grandmother in an HDB flat in Ang Mo Kio in northern Singapore.
有不唱歌我就买来学学，那里面有一条歌2条歌我会的，我喜欢我就学会唱，我会唱很多啊，就现在我的唱片很多，他等我唱给他听啊，他很高兴啊，我拍他的照片，他阿嬷唱歌给你听哦，好，叫他什么他好，点听爱笑，怕他们打鼓掌，大了两个阿嬷我要去看国台啊。 你带我去，我好了，我带他去，他很喜欢的，他还会唱歌。他自己去找王雷啊，找到王雷来跟阿妈，王雷要叫我们去唱歌嘞，教我们唱卡拉唱这个国台。我讲王雷教有钱嘛，都要还钱嘛，他说不用了，不用钱的，我好不用钱，你去学咯，你喜欢哦，你去学的，那就学了好哦。 一会唱了，他等来讲阿妈，我要去唱歌嘞。王威叫我去唱，我讲你可以吗？伊讲可以啦，可以。我话可以，你去哦。小没有胆的嘞，长大他自己有胆。
Now Alvin is getting ready for his performance tonight. It's estimated that there are about 300 Getai performances across Singapore during the 7th month alone. As per tradition, Alvin writes down his song list for the live band moments before he gets on stage. He will perform 3 songs during the 3-hour show, which also features other performers. He'll be sharing the stage with his mentor, Wang Lei. The endorsement of an established singer like Wang Lei makes it easier for a new face like Alvin to be accepted by the audience. Alvin completed his performance without a glitch.
How do you feel right now?
Very happy that I finally finished the show and actually did quite well.
So you think you did quite well just now?
Yeah, because my mentor did mention that there's a Facebook Live and the people are all saying quite good comments.
Veteran singer Wang Lei plans to retire from Getai next year. He's putting his hopes in young singers like Alvin to take Getai forward.
所以 Alvin 说你今天相当满意他的表现，为什么呢？
因为今天的 Alvin 我觉得他3首歌是唱出那个他有那个 feel， 他唱出我要的东西。 因为福建歌很奇怪，因为福建歌要唱不是要唱本地的腔，要唱那个越草根越好。因为很多福建歌都是从日本歌翻译过来福建歌，所以最好是有那种日本那种艳雅的演歌的唱法。他今天做到，我今天给他80分吧。
所以你一直在栽培一些年轻的一代嘛，这是为了什么？
哦，因为大家都知道为什么我选的都是10多岁的、20多岁，为什么我没有选40岁、50岁？因为我觉得在看歌台的那些长辈们越来越年老，我就是调一些想训练一些年轻人，给那些年轻的观众进入歌台来欣赏。因为毕竟这个歌台是我们新加坡仅有的一个草根文化。如果你问我说，哎，新加坡还有什么草根文化？我想不到。你说大戏不是新加坡，你说布袋戏不是新加坡，踩高跷不是新加坡，舞狮舞龙，全部都是来自中国的。我觉得完全是没有新加坡一个草根的文化，只有歌台。所以我觉得那些年轻人，我要训练年轻人。
His apprentice Alvin is committed to the cause.
So is this what you want to do for the rest of your life?
Yes, if I have the chance to continue on, I would definitely.
Why?
Because first of all, I'm like considered a newer generation to Getai, and this culture actually needs our generation to pass on. So I would very love to continue this culture.
Getais have progressed beyond the Hungry Ghost Month, and now they are going online too. Is social media outreach the answer to Getai's survival? This year's Hungry Ghost Month bears some bad tidings for Singapore's Getai industry. A few venues have announced that this year will be the last year they will set up Getai for the 7th month. But Aaron Tan is more upbeat about Getai's outlook than ever before. Aaron is the owner of Lexus Entertainment, a leading Getai organizer in Singapore. A few years ago, he started live streaming of his Getai shows on social media platforms.
Basically, right now, our YouTube live and our Facebook live, we can, I think, right now, just now I was watching is about 12K on the same time, viewing time. Overall, it takes about 280K of viewer. So I think it's a very huge amount. And from live streaming, we do attract new audience into our Getai live show.
Based on the number of views Getai live streaming is getting, many industry players believe that instead of declining, Getai's fan base is now larger than ever before. Live streaming also allows Getais to reach out to audiences outside of Singapore.
By going live streaming on all social media platforms, the outreach to different gender, different races, also different ages. So different age we right now on Getai live streaming we got about maybe 15 years old, 15 years old, all the way to 18 years old.
Another source of Aaron's optimism about Getai's prospects, increasing number of talents like 31-year-old Lee Pei Fen. She can sing, she can host, and she's multilingual. She's also one of the most sought-after Getai artists in the industry. And don't be deceived by her youthful outlook. In the Getai industry, Pei Fen is a well-respected veteran with 20 years of experience under her belt.
How do you prepare yourself?
Basically, we get familiar with the stage, then because everywhere is a different stage area. So, and then we will do a quick sound check. Then we will talk with the band. Yeah,
okay.
Just about the opening, which is very important, and everything that comes after will be impromptu.
The young artist started her Getai career when she was 6. She tells me how she managed to be at the top of a game in an industry that's constantly seeking the next new thing.
We need to constantly improve and have new jokes or new things coming out. different role plays that we can do every year. So this year I may be dressed up like a princess of the ancient times, and next year maybe I dress up as a baby.
Good morning!
Role playing, I would say. So that's how we constantly surprise our audience.
For Pei Fen, despite all the challenges, Getai remains a promising career and she earns what she calls a comfortable amount. Nonetheless, she still wants to fight people's perceptions of Getai as a form of lowbrow entertainment.
People who don't watch Getai, they may feel that we are giving people an impression that we only have singers who cannot sing, we only dress sexily, but we have no content at all. Actually, we are able to sing, we are able to bring laughter to the audience. Some of us, like for myself and alongside with a lot of my colleagues, we are able to hold our own concerts also. We are able to sing and write our own songs.
Today, Getai has made it into the mainstream. Singapore's largest broadcaster, Mediacorp, started broadcasting a television program called the Getai Challenge in 2015. And overseas artists as well as television stars now perform in Getais too. So Pei Fen says competition is never tougher.
We are always tempted to newer things. Like Elvin is very young. Like now that he has come up for the few months, everybody finds that he's a fresh thing for Getai. So what happens after 1 or 2 years? He has a very unique voice, okay, I know, but everybody is immune with his voice already. So what step next? So what is he gonna do next? Is he gonna improve on his the costume? So every day it's quite a challenge.
Young Getai singer Alvin is determined to stay the course. Because doing well in Getai singing is not just about making a name for himself or the monetary rewards that follow. It's also about keeping alive a heritage that he cherishes.
在地呀地，花飞林前夜。